Welcome everyone to this week's Art Jam for Healing. Hi, Rodine.
Hello. Good morning, Chantal.
Oh my goodness, sometimes I wonder, what are we going to talk about today? And needless to say, something always comes up.
That's never really a problem for us now, is it?
No, exactly right. It isn't. That's exactly right. So we're just going live here for YouTube as well, recording that. So any comments, please put it here. We'd love your food for thought. Hang on, here we are. I'm just going to turn this down because today we are going to talk about being given a diagnosis or a label, the pros and cons of this, because anyone who joined us last week or had watched the last YouTube, we talked about not feeling the bit like we talked about like not being able to show up what was happening in our lives and how to support yourself.
Yeah.
And since then I've had the realization, which sounds I'm actually depressed, and I've been depressed for a while, but whilst my partner is away, it's all come to the surface.
Which is often, I mean, that's not surprising. Again, we had talked about busyness as well in one of our other shows. And when we are busy with those day-to-day things, often things like depression and, anything else that sits just below the surface is suppressed enough because we're busy enough, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I like that, busy enough, and we hide behind all these things. And, then when and it was just really powerful because we just keep going. Because sometimes we don't want to, we don't want to admit and acknowledge because there's shame around it, or how will people be, or all intents and purposes. If you look at my life, and I don't know about yours as well, my life looks fantastic. The most beautiful home, loving partner, we've got views, I've got good health. So who am I to say that I'm depressed?
Right.
So there's that fear of judgment and condemnation, and there's no reason. So that at the moment, obviously there's no reason. My partner's simply gone away for 5 weeks. He's coming back.
Right. Yeah.
So there's no logic behind this. And this is, again, we often, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Sometimes we need a reason. We need, oh, hi, Pamela. I'm speaking with my daughter. Here we are. So yes, it's nice she's here. Anyone else like to, again, say hi, let us know you're here. And if you do feel comfortable, share, because this is conversations we need to have, because I don't know how you feel coming back. Depression doesn't respect reasons. Exactly right. Yes, that is it. I really like that,
Yeah, so true. Well, that was, way back before I finally actually went to my doctor because I wasn't functioning. The depression piece, the anxiety piece, I did the same thing. No, this isn't bad enough.
Yes.
There's nothing really wrong in my life. I shouldn't feel like this. And then I also did, and I'm sure anybody watching this, you've heard this, you've seen it somewhere, that whole, you don't want to own it, right? If you name it, you claim it. So you don't want to say to yourself or anyone else, I am depressed, or I am suffering with anxiety, or whatever it is. We don't want to own it. So we do this weird dance with it in no man's land, trying to figure out what the heck we're supposed to do, because things aren't working, right?
Exactly. And I think with things not working, I know, like for me, strong, independent, I should be able to do this on my own. And I sort of sit here and I think, I can't believe I'm saying this again, like I've come back to this, I've worked on this for so long, And yet here I am again. And here's Pam saying, depressed for about 20 years in my youth. I figured out ways to overcome it. Yes, I pull out the tools when I notice things going awry. It clears up pretty quickly most times. And when it doesn't, it's time to find. Yes, exactly right. I called and got help. Thank you, Pam, because that's what I was going to come to as well. Exactly right. And I'm going to add to this, Pam. So thank you for that. I had my tool. Like, I agree. We need to have our tools. And sometimes the tools are not enough. So like you, Pam, I did go and see my counselor and psychologist last week. I will be seeing her again this week or next week, because she actually muttered as she left, because she's known me for a long time. You just might need a little bit more support. It was just that beautiful, discreet way of just, you know, just know I'm here, you know, because she knows I can make my own decisions. It's just this lovely way and beautiful way of holding me as I walked out the door to know, you know what you're experiencing is real. It is happening, you know, and I agree. The other thing I am going to do for me, thank you, Pam, is I am going to go on antidepressants. And I can't actually believe I'm even actually saying this out loud publicly, because I've always had it. They've been my foe. They've been my enemy. I don't need them. I can do this on my own. So there must be something wrong with me that I'm needing this external support.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a loop, isn't it?
Or you don't want to mask anything because you really want to deal with it, right?
That's it. Yes, yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Go.
No, you go.
Okay.
No,
it just looked like you had a thought.
Well, I have. But,
well, that's a part of it too, right? Oh, I don't want to mask anything because I want to heal this. So I don't want to mask anything. But when you're feeling, for anybody who is currently or has experienced depression, you know what that feels like. And you know that there is no masking anything, because when it comes down to it and you're with yourself, it's just brutally difficult, and it's a horrible place to be. And so if there is medication available to us that helps to alleviate that a little bit, to get you out of that space, why would we not accept that?
Exactly right.
And now sometimes it may not be the right time, right? And
yes.
But you know, to have something that could help you not feel so despondent and disconnected every day, that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing to have that as an option when you're ready and when you need it.
That's right. And you're right. And it is a good thing. And I think what I realized was, because we talked about this beforehand, and Pam says, yes, survival first. Yes, yes. I realized that so this is coming back to using art, but also intuition and having enough of your own done therapy to be able to understand this. Now, it doesn't still mean do it on your own. So this is no diagnosis. Anyone who's listening, this is just our thoughts. But I knew when I was sitting quietly the other day, because I initially thought it was because I'd gone on those silent retreats with my partner not being here. It was the silence. In fact, it wasn't the silence. It, in fact, was him not being here that all highlighted everything. But while I was sitting quietly in my morning meditation, just sitting quietly as the sun was coming up and just being there, a clear voice came through: you are depressed, you need antidepressants. And it was like, okay. Okay. And it was once it sort of came to me, then I was able to just sit with it. And I go through a process that I'd been taught years ago and I use with clients, is you name how you feel, you acknowledge it, you accept it, and there it is. Because once you can acknowledge and accept, this is what I found, suddenly there was a weight off my shoulders. I'm depressed at the moment. Just that's it, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
And go on antidepressants. Because initially my ego went, you've got to be kidding me, antidepressants? You haven't been on them for years. You don't. Yeah, exactly.
I can do this.
Exactly right. I'm a strong independent.
I fix everything.
That's exactly right. I
am strong. I can do this.
That's right. Because I eat well, I exercise, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm sleeping well, I'm doing everything right. Yet here I am again, boom, in this state. So, you know, it is interesting. So that's why I actually, because I decided, would I post something on Facebook, because often we don't do this. It's all lovely memes and, you know, people going, I've just had this huge awakening and I've just had this enlightened experience and you know, I've had a tough time, but they don't share tough. So I thought, you know what, I want to share what it actually is like to be depressed, you know, the suicide ideation. So if anyone's feeling triggered here, please reach out. And I'm talking about it because I feel it's something we don't, and you can feel so alone and so ashamed and so terrible, you know. And I'm going through all of this. I don't want to wake up in the morning, you know. And I did speak to the counselor, so everyone rest assured I am getting support, and she knows I wouldn't take my life, and I'm not going to take my life, but I do have this heaviness of hopelessness and what's the point, why am I alive, and everything's coming up again. And she was in
Nope, just coughing.
And I'm just going to go and get some, because I showed her a piece of work that I'd done. I'm just going to go and show her, because it was lovely and colorful, and I'd done some so I thought, okay, what can I do with art to help myself? It was beautiful and colorful. I might have showed last time. And I've done markings. Now, I didn't realize that she also has done art therapy. And she said, look at that. She said, all your markings are not connected. It's a disconnection. I went, oh, at the moment, that is how so even though it's beautiful and I'm really pleased that I could still bring in color and I did this, she just quietly said there's still a disconnect. And that's how I'm feeling, is disconnected. I thought that was really interesting. So this is art, you know, how art can support you.
Wow. That's fascinating. You know, something that was the one, that feeling of being disconnected, no matter what I did or tried to think or whatever, that feeling of being disconnected scared me to death, because it was like I couldn't feel anything, right? I couldn't tap into feeling happy. I mean, at that point, I'm not even sure I felt sad. I was just
Not
disconnected.
Yeah.
Numb, totally numb thing. It was like, whatever. And that was what scared me the most. And I can also absolutely relate to, you know, you just wanted to sleep for a while until you could wake up and not feel crummy when you woke up, right?
That's it.
In George, I think it was George Orwell's book 1984, you could go on a Soma holiday, right?
Right.
And so Soma was the drug, and you could go on a Soma holiday, which was, I guess they hooked you up to whatever, I guess our version of AI back in the 80s, and you could go on this holiday for like a week or two or whatever. And so I would think, oh, I would just like a Soma holiday where I could just kind of sleep for a little bit and then just wake up and feel better.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like just, you know, and you're tired of trying to figure things out and make it work and make things better for yourself. And so I so understand that one.
Yeah.
And I feel you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, because I agree with you, because at the moment I just want to sleep, because at the moment, fortunately, I'm sleeping well without any, you know, I'm sleeping well. And it's like, it's a relief, because once I'm asleep, that's it. No. And Pam said, yes, you're human and you're still alive. Interesting. She noticed that it is, because I didn't realize she was an art therapist. You know, Pam, I'm really fortunate to have met this. She's got 40 years experience, highly, she's known for her work around Australia and partly in the States for the work that she does with trauma and EMDR and all of this. So I feel very blessed that I've got someone who's there, plus my GP, my original GP, he's now retired, because that's also important. I think we talked about this before, how many actual professionals don't understand trauma. In my case, in addition, alcoholism from my father. So, it's how do we talk? And again, as we're sitting here, I'm going to do circles. I don't know if you can see it, and then I'm going to color them in. But what I'm now trying to do slowly is just slowly connecting them, so I'm sort of using the art, and then I'm going to just use the bright colors. So I'm sort of connecting these different bubbles. And in fact, as we're doing that love letter workshop, is it next week? I might start putting in lovely things, about myself. So that's actually just come to me now. But again, yesterday, while I was in a funk, it really, again, so coming back to listening to your intuition. Now, when you've gone through trauma, you always often feel unsafe. Not feeling safe is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I realized I needed to not only feel safe in the world, but in my body. Now that I feel safe in my body, I can listen to my intuition, act on it. And it came to me very clearly. As you know, I'm not a big artist, but I really needed to do charcoal and get my fingers dirty and just do it. And this is what I ended up creating. And I wanted to share it because I just did it.
That's beautiful.
And thank you. And it just came in fact because it was just my intuition just said do it. And if you look at the little that's white. I used white charcoal or graphite or whatever it is. And it just came to me. See, there's still moments of light in there. So this is the beginning of my healing. Yeah. Even though it's dark, it didn't feel dark, but I needed to express that darkness and go, it's okay.
And I like how you have it's all there because they almost do look like doorways, right?
Yes.
So I love how you have the two bright doorways in the corners, but look at your other little doorways there. It's like they're emerging. They're there for you, right?
Oh, I like that too. Doorways. And the other thing I'd also say windows into my heart. Love it. Yeah, see, again, when we talk about this is the beauty about talking, and particularly someone you trust, and particularly, again, if we come back to a professional you trust, these are the insights that you can get that, like, doorways. Thank you. The doorway, it is still there, to be opened. And for now, it's okay if it's closed. It's okay if it's closed for a little while, because you just need to do that, And I was just and it was interesting coming back to putting it onto the Facebook post. I put it on my personal page and onto a big business group. Well, I know you're in there, you too.
Yeah.
And I was really interested to see what people would respond. And what was really, really lovely was no one tried to placate or give me platitudes or positivity. It was just really witnessing and honoring me. And some even said, yes, I get that, and it was really lovely because it's so easy when you don't understand. It says more about the person responding, it's not that bad, or you can just use all sorts of things. Why are you feeling that way? I didn't get any of that. And it was so good because that would have just pushed me further back in.
Yeah.
So it's really important to learn, and again, this has been bandied around trauma awareness, trauma informed, but it's just important to, and there's so many things you can go and Google now. What to say to someone is, how can I help you right now? What are you needing right now?
Yeah.
What are you needing right now? And that's a beautiful way of the person being held and someone actually cares about me. And they're witnessing me and not telling me I should be anything other than, what do you need right now? And then what I realized is following up, even if it's just via text. How do you want me to contact you? Because there's so many beautiful ways now: text, WhatsApp, Messenger, phone, or do you want a Zoom? Do you want face-to-face? Because sometimes face-to-face talking is too much, but just a quick, how are you? I'm here. Remember, I'm here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that when you've been in a...
I guess it would depend on how well I knew the person.
Oh, that is yeah. Yes.
Right. And sometimes I guess intuition comes into that too, right?
Yeah.
There would be, if someone offered and said, hey, if you ever want to talk, I'm here, right? I'm happy to listen. For me, it would depend on how well I knew them, but I do have to allow for, that sometimes you may not know somebody super well and they're offering you that, but it feels right.
Yes.
Right? Like it feels safe for you to trust that person. So yeah.
And I agree with you. And you're right. And I didn't think of that. I was actually meaning someone you do know. I agree.
Okay.
I know I do know. But I think what is also nice is, even if you only know them through Facebook, sometimes it can be just nice, someone saying, look, I'm here if you want. And that's all it needs to be, because it's just being witnessed. That's it. That's all it needs to be, is you're just being witnessed, or someone's just going, hey, I'm here if you want, and then just letting it be, you know. Yes, you're right, Pam, saying this, and I agree. It's easy to tell stranger things than the people you know. Absolutely. I agree. I agree with you there.
That's true too.
You know, so I think, again, it's as you become strong, well, even though I don't feel strong at the moment, I think coming back to what you say, you listen to your intuition, you just drop into your heart, and you just, you know. And look, sometimes I've thought I was intuitively right, and I was completely wrong. You know, like it wasn't the right person at all.
So, well, you can figure that one out too, right? That's where you're like 2 minutes into something and it's like, oh, I've got to go. Thanks.
That's exactly right. So, you know, so what we were coming back to, I think the original thing was, we're going to talk about being labeling and diagnoses, the positive pros and cons of that. So again, anyone watching the replay, let's have your thoughts. Do you want to start on this one yourself, Rodine? What were your thoughts on that because we've discussed it before
Yeah. Well, we did kind of talk about it. My thoughts about that are, I mean, it can be one of the most liberating and yet one of the most terrifying things, being diagnosed specifically with whatever it is. Having an understanding of what the group of symptoms is, you then do kind of feel like there's a little bit of hope, like you can find your way out. So like when I was diagnosed with PTSD, on the one hand, it was such a relief to just know that I wasn't crazy. But on the other hand, you know, my knowledge of PTSD, I did kind of go, holy shit, this is a big one. Like, oh, this is going to take forever, right? Like you kind of go, oh, how long is this going to take to get better from this?
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting.
No, go on.
No, go.
Now I just lost it.
Sorry. Okay.
That's okay. Meh, that's okay.
And it'll come back if it's meant to, again, if it's meant to.
Exactly.
And now for me, it's interesting, when I got the diagnosis of PTSD, then complex PTSD, I was the opposite. It was like, hallelujah. Like, and I didn't see it. I didn't understand at the time. So I think I was in the height of it. I didn't understand the length or the time that it would take. So in a way, there was a ignorance and naivety in there that was quite good. So only now looking back, thinking, oh shit, that was really, you know.
Right.
I think at the time I was so relieved to know that I wasn't insane, that this was real. And the big one came for me when I was going through the car accident insurance company to get the payout from my car accident. And I needed to go and see various specialists to get proof that I was whatever. And I saw a neurologist, and he was a young man. And I know I'm going to sound judgmental. He was young and a man. I was thinking, oh God, you know, because you walk in with these preconceived, and there you are as this middle-aged woman, you know, in tears and, you know, whatever. He was exceptional, because he sat me down and he said to me, because I told him about my symptoms and what was going on, and I was going through menopause at the time, and he said to me, really honored you're going through menopause and PTSD at the same time, you know. And I walked out of it. Yeah, that's right. So I want
more to the party, right?
That's exactly right. Let's, you know, what else can I have? Dengue fever, you know, the lot. Yeah. So I mean, I can laugh now, but at the time it was really, really hard. But I'll never forget him saying that to me. I can't tell you, when I walked out, I went, someone actually said to me, no wonder it's tough. So I could bring down a bit of that facade and that having to be strong. This is tough. You know, and mind you, I'd rather have not learned how to be tough and strong and you know how everyone says there's a lesson to be learned, there's a blessing. Don't say that to me at the moment, otherwise I'll punch your lights out. Not yours, but anyone. It's like, no. But it does, you know, I look back now and I can see there's something there, isn't there? That, because how do you get through? How do you get out every day? Because there's something deep within you. And we've all got it, to whichever way it is. We all have something just to even wake up and get out of bed. To breathe. I was just thinking this morning, I'm still breathing. I still have the energy to breathe. That is how far I've come. This is how I've come at the moment. I'm just grateful that I can take a breath, each breath, without too much energy.
So, you know what? Does it feel like you've recognized it's depression? You know what that feels like from before. Does it feel somewhat different at this point than it has in the past?
Oh, yes. Well, I think
like,
go on.
Nope, go ahead.
Keep asking.
I was just thinking, if you, I mean, for anybody who has dealt with depression, or is dealing with it, you know, and you've had it before, and you've managed to work through it, and then you're you know, feeling wonderful and you're well for many years, and then you realize, oh, I'm back here again. Does it feel somewhat like now my brain is going ting, ting, ting. Does it feel less daunting or less? No, still.
For me at the moment, it feels, in fact, interestingly enough, more daunting, because here I am again. How did I end up? So in a way, it feels more daunting. Now, but having said that, on the other hand, I have more tools, awareness. I don't, you know, so there's that. So there's a positive and a negative here. Like Pam said, I remember some days the only thing I could find that was okay, that went well, or that was happy about, was I made it through the day exactly right. And that was a big deal at the time. Exactly. That's it. So I do, and you're right, because at the moment, trying to find gratitudes and moments of joy is quite hard. But, you know, Pam, was interesting you said it, because that night I go, thank you, I've got through the day. You know, and I actually did better than I thought, even though it was effortful. Then I wake up in the morning and go, thank you, I had a good sleep. So yes, so it's about finding those little moments without it being platitude. Again, I keep coming back to this talk. It's just okay. Yeah. So thank you. That's I made it through the day. And I was trying to look at a word, and molasses kept coming up. It's not sticky what I'm going through, but I feel like I'm in this big tube of blob, sort of this tube of gel, clear gel, and I'm trying to walk like this slow, and it's not, you know, and everything's effortful, and you know, it's like, excuse me, I'm here again. So, you know, it's and the negative side of, go on.
And is your brain racing though?
No, my brain is gone. And again, I was actually looking up depression versus PTSD, because I want to write, I want to do a YouTube on this as well. No, my brain's gone back into exhaustion, and at the moment, no, it is so tired. Like even doing this is effortful. You know, I'm going to my volunteering. Normally I love going volunteering. At the moment, I feel like, oh God, I can't even be bothered putting the top. I just can't. But I know once I'm there, I'll be all right. So it's finding, again, anyone who wants to share, what do you do so you don't, that's all right, and where does that boundary start, where no, I really can't do that. So it's honoring and or yes, I need to. So like yesterday I had already organized a lunch for some family, and I had to do it on my own because obviously my partner's not here. Now, normally I'm very capable, and it would have been really tempting to say, no, guys, I just can't have you here. So I thought, no, just get up, good sleep. I took 3 hours to prepare, which normally would have taken a lot less, but I just made the time. I just went, I want to enjoy this. They were running late, which was great because it gave me time to have a rest. And once upon a time I would have been pissed off that they were running late. How dare they, you know? And I went, you know what? Great. So it's how do you work this? Now, the negative side of labeling can be that you get stuck in it. You become the victim or remain the victim. So that's the other side of that.
Yeah.
So again, anyone got their thoughts on that? So it can be a release and a relief, and it can keep, oh, but you know, I'm depressed, or oh, I am something or other, and then that can stop you from actually actively doing something for yourself to help you come out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Or yeah. I had a half-formed thought there, and it didn't fully form before I opened my mouth. So
no, but start the half one. Do that. Let's see what happens.
Okay. What? It's that for me, being afraid of letting that become yet another part of my identity that doesn't function. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So instead of it being a more positive, or for me, you know, working to then get through it, I was afraid that it would become part of my identity, right? And keep me where I was. It's yeah, those diagnoses are fascinating, aren't they?
They are. Now, see, the way I see that now, because I agree with you there, I don't want to be seen or identified as the, you know, depressed woman or woman without children or whatever it might be. But what I've realized over the years, and it's part of me. It's not all of me, but it's part of me. So it is part of me. Part of me has this, so like I can be joyful, fun, gregarious, colorful, but I can also be negative, depressed, bitchy, angry, you know. So it's a part of me, but at the moment, that part of me is all of me at the moment, because that's how it feels. You know, it is all of me at the moment. And I don't want to deny that, because the more I deny, and I realize I've been denying it for this whole year, in fact, I think longer than that, because I also watched my therapist said, and then I Googled it a bit, when you've been through childhood trauma, depression can show up later in life. I went, oh, okay, that's interesting, because you can. And she gave me a lot of other information, which was, because I was in such a state, I've got it vaguely here, but I can't share it at the moment without perhaps, you know, stuffing it up. But it's just really interesting how you'll never be rid of something. It's how you manage. It's going to be part of you somehow, or rather, let's just rejoice in every aspect of us. And for right now, I'm in this black cloud, you know, and as I said, I was denying it for these however long now, and it's like, I don't want to deny it. I can't. In fact, it basically said to me, you can't deny it anymore. Because the more I did, in fact, I really, you know, often, you know, as they say, what you resist persists, and then bam, well, anyhow, that's what happens. So thank you, Pam, for great insights. I appreciate that very much. I think on one more note, this has been such a good chat. Can I just share one more thing I did have years ago? And again, it's part of this part of me. I did my Gestalt therapy training many years ago, and we had this gentleman come from the States, because it's big over there compared to here in Australia. And he was one of our trainers for the weekend, and I didn't like him. I thought he was a dreadful man. And anyhow, I won't go because it's going to be judgmental, but the way he was treating every participant was actually really, I thought, vile. And I thought, right, how am I going to sit here? How am I going to, because you needed to work with him as part of your curriculum and whatever. Right. So when I got to me, I just turned around and said, I don't know where I got the courage from or the nous. I just said, I don't like you, and I don't know if I want to work with you, but, you know, I have to. And I was waiting for and he went, okay, let's work with this. So he got me to lie on the ground with him, or face to face on the ground. And he just sat there, lay there with me, or, you know, looking at me. And he goes, okay, let's look at this. Do you like chocolate? What's your chocolate cake? Yep, love chocolate cake. Okay. Do you like flour on its own? No. Do you like raw egg? No. Do you like sugar? No. But do you like the cake? Yes. And that stuck with me forever and a day, because I didn't like all the individual bits as such, but I liked the whole lot.
Okay.
See? That was my interpretation. So yeah, on that note, there's going to be parts of us. So to me, this is coming back to the love letter thing we're going to do next week. So be on our pages, everyone who's watching YouTube, come to my Unfold Your Freedom and Rodine Isfeld's actually, no, we're not doing it on that. So no,
page.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be there, the information, but it's going to be on Zoom. Yeah. It is not going to be recorded because it's going to be very personal. We'd like no more than 10 women because we want to keep it at that. And it's going to be interesting how we're going to write a love letter to ourselves, because we can love all of us, but not, and that's what he was saying. You can love all of you, and not like parts of you. It's like with someone else, you might not like their behavior, but you can love and like all, so it's that distinguish. So I'm going to actually start writing this. I'm going to see what love letter comes up for where I am now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Did you start, are you going to do that in your bubbles, do you think?
Ooh. I'm going to start it this week, yes. And then I might carry it on next week as well, or I might just write. So yes. So again, anyway, we were showing you can do it. Normally I write a love letter, but this time I'm going to do it. Let's just explore. It's going to be what, an hour and a half to 2 hours. And it's just we're going to go through meditation.
I figured about 2 hours really by the time from start to finish. I figured about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So 2 hours in a private Zoom.
Yeah.
Where we will hold space for you to come and see what your soul wants to tell you about how incredible you are and how loved you really, really are. And then we're going to turn it into a gorgeous piece of art that you then, every time you get to look at it, you get to be reminded of how truly divine and beautiful and loved that you are. So I think it's going to be wonderful.
It is. Pam, we're going to be putting it on our Facebook pages. I just created the link, but I made it 90 minutes. So I need to change it to 2 hours. It's going to go to my PayPal. So it will be 40 Australian dollars. And we worked out about 35 Canadian dollars. Or US, was it? US dollars.
Was it US or Canadian? Oh, if that was Canadian, I
think you did Canadian. Now. No, Pam, another good question. Okay. Pam's really great. She's giving us all these questions.
I know, she's awesome.
You are awesome. Okay, thank you. Now, Pam, what Rodine's going to do, when you sign up, we're going to create a link and you're going to get a PDF with suggested art supplies. It might be that feels too overwhelming. It might be you just bring a notepad and a pen, or it might be a notepad with a colored pen. So you're going to get some ideas for you to explore. Now, I know a while ago I couldn't have done even that. I just would have bought my pen and pad. Now so Pam, we will send you that once you've signed up. Okay.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's whatever you have in your house.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever you have, you can make beautiful art with whatever you have in your house. You don't need any specific supplies. Although maybe a glue stick, some paper, something to add some color with is always good. And Pam says, I have some paper and pens, pencils. I have a lot.
Yeah, great.
Fabric.
Yes.
Pam, I know you have fabric too. So you can do fabric, because you could go around and gather different things from your house too, like crystals, whatever calls to you to have on hand. So
that's exactly right.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah,
it can be turned into art too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you could do as I was going to say décolletage, as a collage, or anything you want. You have a lot of. I like that she's got a lot of fabric. Yes. So it'll be fun. It's going to be, and I know sometimes. I know it's stopped me thinking I can't do it, therefore I shouldn't turn up, no matter what, no matter how much assurances we give you. And I'd really like you, if you really are doubting yourself, just put your hand on your heart and just really go, I'm scared. Am I scared? Why am I scared? But I really want to do it. And how can you just allow yourself? And look, join up, even if you want to, and just be with us. Even if you just write one word, It's the collective energy. We're going to take you through a lovely process. Anyhow, we've done a really long one today, Rodine. We could keep on going.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
So I've now done my page of circles, but when I do most probably our one, I'm going to do it bigger because I didn't think of the words when I first started. And I'm loving how I've connected them, the big, small. I'm going to paint this in. So this is what I'm going to be doing for now, because when we do the workshop, look at yours. I just
see, and I'm adding in the trees, which
yes.
these northern lights, you can kind of see the treetops, but
yes. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So thank you, everyone, again. Any comments? Look, if you've feel something's agitated or stirred in you, reach out to one of us or myself, or if you already got your counselor, I am here. You know, if you want a link to have a 15-minute chat just to see how I can support you, because I've got different ways you can through other, different things, please do. You're not alone. You don't need to do it alone. And yeah, lots of love to you all. Thank you, Pam, and take care. Yep, that's what Pam said. Take care, you too. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.